All right, well, big win, 58-43 tonight here for Clarinda over Des Moines Christian. Here now with Tatum Brown, massive contributor tonight, especially offensively for you guys. And Tatum, just first off, give us your thoughts on this win for you guys.
Oh, this win feels amazing. We've been waiting for it. We've been putting in the work. Not having a game last week really got to us, so we just got to work on ourselves, and that was really good. So to come out and win this game, it felt really good.
So, early on, the points really didn't start to come until around that the middle of that second quarter or so. But the offense was there. You guys were moving the ball. What's kind of the message to you guys, especially offensively, as you're just kind of really trying to finish off those drives?
We just got to keep working. We got to keep pushing. If there's a pile, you got to go up and push it. If you give me a hole, I'm going to hit it and I'm going to go.
So, and obviously a huge night for you. At least, I'm going to dare say a little over 300 yards. Just kind of speak to your performance tonight.
Oh, it feels great. I've been waiting for it to finally come out, and it finally did. The first couple weeks I wasn't in it, I wasn't here, but now I'm back and I'm ready to go.
So then obviously you had plenty of big holes up there for you tonight. Kind of who are some of the guys that you want to shout out there on that offensive line?
Carson Downey, my fullback, is a really big help. He always hits the ends, which are the big dudes, and he takes them out of my way. And then I got Bryson Harris, Jace Wilmis, Jackson Myers. I got all of them. They're just up there working their tails off, and it's amazing to see that.
Certainly, and just overall offensively for you guys tonight, also had some things working through the air with Wyatt Schmidt and Isaac Jones, and also just the run game in general from you guys. Just kind of speak to your overall kind of offensive performance tonight.
It's great to have all that. We have skilled guys all over the place. We returned them all from last year, and it's great to see it paying off. Wyatt's a hell of a quarterback, and it's fun to watch him, and Isaac can make some plays when the ball's in the air.
Certainly, especially there in that second half, they obviously got the block punt return for a touchdown, but then you respond immediately. First play of the next drive, you take it back to the house for 52 yards. Kind of how big was it for you guys to be able to get that momentum flip immediately?
It was great. I'm glad I could help the team do it. It was a fun night, and I'm glad we could do that.
Certainly, and obviously, this was a pivotal district game for you guys, really, who could possibly secure that second spot in the district. How big is it for you guys to, at least at this point, feel really good about potentially having that second spot?
That feels really great. Like before the game, the coaches said, play for the seniors, because this could be our last time playing on the home field. So I'm glad we could come out on top and give ourselves another chance to play on this field.
So then you also had a kickoff return touchdown for yourself. Just kind of walk us through what was going through your mind in that one.
I love being back at kickoff. When I see the ball coming to me, I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm ready to go.
Certainly, it was also announced tonight you are now at least here for Clarinda, the career rushing holder. Just kind of speak how big that is for you.
That feels amazing. I'm going to hold that for a very long time. I've been working at it since sophomore year, and whenever I heard it over the announcements, I was very excited. I was glad to hear it.
Certainly, obviously, a lot of fun fireworks tonight. Just overall, momentum-wise for you guys, obviously, it's been a bit of an up and down year. You guys had a tough loss to Greene County a couple weeks ago. Just how big is this for you guys in terms of building some momentum as you head late into this season?
This is huge for us. This momentum it's a huge change going into Red Oak next week, and that's what we needed.
Awesome. Congrats on the win tonight, Tatum. Well, once again, a 58-43 win here tonight for Clarinda over Des Moines Christian. Here now with head coach Colin Bevins. And coach, first off, obviously a lot of fireworks here tonight between these two teams. Just kind of give us your thoughts on this win.
Yeah, it was a good game. We went up there 3 scores right out of halftime, I think it was, and then they brought it back down to, I think it was a 9-point game there, and then Tatum broke another big one. So those are the kind of games that we enjoy. Just 12-round boxing matches, back and forth, and a team like Des Moines Christian, that they're very athletic, they're fast, they spread you out. So we knew that was going to be the toughest thing coming into the game, and they came out empty and ran empty probably 75% of the time. So we've got some things to clean up on the back end on defense for Red Oak next week, but I'm looking forward to where we're headed as a football team.
And I know we talked a little bit earlier this week, simplifying things on offense and kind of going back to your guys' roots and running the ball up the middle. And certainly you guys were able to do that with a lot of success tonight. Obviously, Tatum Brown, record-setting night for him. Just kind of speak to your guys' overall offensive performance.
Yeah, I thought that up front we communicated well, and we got backers to the second level, like I was saying there earlier in the week too. So hats off to those guys. Tatum's been blessed with some very good offensive lines here in the last 3 years, with having Logan last year and the year before, and then last year with Logan again, and then you had guys like Ethan Fast and the list goes on and on. But hats off to that kid. He comes in and works all the time. He stays after. He coaches up the young kids. So something like that couldn't happen to a better kid. And it's it was just fun to watch.
So, and obviously the points started to really rack up there in the middle of that second quarter or so. I mean, obviously the offenses were both getting the balls down the field there in that first quarter. Just the points weren't quite getting there. What's the message to your guys to kind of really push across that final threshold and finish off some of those drives?
We couldn't get complacent. I thought sometimes when we got down in the red zone and we got some fourth down situations, our kids kind of took a sigh of relief. We're moving the ball. We haven't been successful moving the ball the last few weeks, but we're moving the ball well. One bad thing happens, and we either think about the play too long. We got to flush it, and move on. But yeah, it was a back and forth game, but I'm just glad we ran the ball like we did tonight.
Certainly, and obviously, we mentioned Tatum Brown had a kickoff return for a touchdown, had almost 300 yards rushing tonight. Just kind of speak to his performance tonight.
Yeah, I talked to him before the game, and he gave me a funny look before the game, and I just looked at him and I said, "Until you run like you're capable, you can't look at me like that." So about halfway through the third quarter, he came back over to me and he's like, "Can I look at you like that now?" And I said, "Finish the game, and you might be able to." So, he got back to his north and south running today. He used his cutback lanes when they were available. His eyes were up. I saw a couple lead plays, power plays on our sideline here that he was being patient, and that's another side of Tatum that he kind of got away from early in the year. He just started taking a hole and going. But the more patient he can be, he's a very explosive guy. So the more patient he can be behind those pullers, and let the hole develop and then explode. He's pretty good at that.
Certainly, and on the defensive side for you guys, obviously 43 points for Des Moines Christian, but obviously came up with some clutch plays as well there, especially late in that game. Obviously, the interception there late from Jones. Just kind of speak to, I guess, the ability for your defense to be able to close that game out tonight.
Yeah, that was another emphasis of ours at halftime. When we played Trainer here at home, I think we were up 3 scores and they came back and took the lead. So we couldn't let something like that happen again, and that was what we stressed kind of at halftime was. We've got to stay in the game. We can't take a lapse, and we've got to stay focused here. And it back and forth. Those games you're gonna have some mistakes on defense. You're gonna have some great plays. And one good thing about the defensive side tonight was they moved the ball so fast. It was kind of hard for our guys to kind of think about what happened the play before, and they could just flush it and move on. Whereas when we're on offense, they got time to think about what just happened. So I think that played in our advantage as well. We switched up some things on the back end with, we kind of went with a little different nickel look there, in their empty stuff. So, we were very basic on defense tonight, but also we did some things that we mixed it up a little bit.
And then obviously kind of the pivotal moment tonight when they were able to shrink that lead off of the block punt and then a subsequent touchdown on the following drive. I mean, what was kind of the message to your guys there as you're trying to hold on to it? At that point, it was a 9-point lead.
We had to focus back in. I think there, going back to us getting complacent, I think they saw we had like 6 minutes left or so on the clock, and we had to punt the ball away there. And, that big block, it got down to 9 points, I think. It was still a two possession game, but, that 2 possessions is big. And I just walked over the sideline and said, "Guys, we're in a fight now. We're in a dog fight now." And the kids answered well. The sideline energy picked up there at that point, and we finished the game strong. But then, we can't have that complacent moment there at about the 6-minute mark there in the fourth. If we can clean stuff like that up, it'll help going into the playoffs.
Certainly, and obviously you mentioned the playoffs. This game did have a little bit of some playoff implications potentially for you guys. It gives you a real good chance of us potentially solidifying that second seed for you guys with the win over Des Moines Christian. And I can't tell you the exact score of the Rhoda Clark game, but it certainly was looking in favor of Clark at one point. Just kind of talk about how big this is for you guys as you move forward towards the playoffs.
It's really big. It's one step closer to getting those seniors another home game, and that was one thing coming into the night that our younger guys wanted to give those older guys, give those seniors, give those juniors is one more home game. And when you come out here and you play for your seniors on a senior night and you don't come out here and play for yourself, good things happen. And, 60 minutes of football here tonight and good things happen. 48 minutes, sorry.
Awesome. Congrats on the win tonight, Coach.